Jerry Jerry
Alright, what's going on, my people? Welcome to the Sn95 Power channel. Fall is upon us, and I feel like I'm running out of time. So let's get into today's discussion. If you have a automatic transmission, particularly a 9495 AODE Mustang, or if you're looking to swap a 4R70W into your 9495 Mustang, I'm going to show you this box that's going to make all the difference in the world of how your transmission is going to shift. Now, setting up shift parameters with these electronic control transmissions is all done via tune. But if you don't have this box right here, your shifting of your transmission is going to be a little erratic. Now, from my research, this is called a transmission control module, and I don't have any schematics of what's inside this black box, but I know it sends a signal to pin 41 of the ECU, and it sends a signal to the what we used to call it the safety neutral switch. The multi-lever position switch is another name for it. There's transmission control. There's like 3 different names people call it, but it's basically the switch on the side of your transmission where you shift a gear. It's like a gear select switch, so it knows what gear the transmission is in. So I don't know what signal that it uses going to that module, but it has a signal that goes into here. It has a signal that goes into the ECU. There's a push button on your shift lever, and it's 5 wires, but it's a mystery box. But all I know is, from a lot of documentation online and from my personal experience, is if you don't have this in here, if you have a 9495 C-Bazzer strategy, your transmission is going to shift erratic. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So in my last video, I talked about how this electronic transmission goes into 4th gear, basically overdrive, based off of you pushing the switch. By default, when you start the car, overdrive is on. What you don't want to do is do wide open throttle pulls with the overdrive on, so you want to press this button. The problem I was having is I would press the button and I would not get the overdrive off indication on the cluster. So I had to dig down here, pull out the ECU, check pin 41 for continuity. Now, the box goes up in here. Let me see, I got that box. So the box gets tucked away in here. And the problem was, I did the wire tuck, and normally with Ford, it's very straightforward when you're dealing with connectors, because they mold these connectors where they can only go in one way, and you can't really mix up connectors because it's molded to whatever specific plug, you know. So I can't put this plug into another plug normally. But if, I don't know if I can get this in frame, if you look right there, I had this module plugged in to that connector right there. Now, like I say, normally you wouldn't be able to do that if it's the wrong spot, because, you know, the moldings are different. But what Ford did is made this plug the exact same color and exact same molding, so this module could plug into that one or this one. And I had it in the wrong one, and it was causing havoc with my transmission. So we got all that straightened out. Basically, the way I figured this out is pin 41 of that plug that's in there goes to the ECU. So basically, you just grab a meter, go from pin 41, and I just started probing each one of those connectors. So I started off with the one that was, so I started off with this one right here, had my meter on 41 on the ECU, and I just probed all of those. I did not get any continuity. And once that happened, I'm like, okay, well, that can't be the right connector. And so I'm looking around and I found this one right here. I'm like, oh, wow, it's a brown connector. Let me probe this one. And sure enough, one of these pins has continuity through probe 41. So as soon as I knew that, as soon as I found that out, I knew I had it hooked up in the wrong spot. So I plugged this in here, started up the car, hit the overdrive button, and then I had the overdrive off indication on. So that was a good find, because without that, I was basically doing all these pulls with the overdrive band enabled. Got my train of thought. So that was a good find because, like I said in a previous video, is fourth gear or overdrive is basically a band, and you have a drum in the transmission that's spinning, and the only thing fourth gear is overdrive is a band that clamps on a drum that allows a whole assembly to kind of turn. And so if you think about it, you know, there's only so much pressure or friction this band can apply to this drum to keep that clamping force. So that's why people say, you know, you don't want to do wide open throttle pulls with overdrive or fourth gear enabled. So now I'm going to take the car back out. It's a little bit nicer out here. It's still not warm enough to get any kind of good 60 foots, but we're going to give it a try. I've got the draggy over here charging up. We're going to pull the car out and do some driving around first to test to see how the transmission is shifting, if it's still kind of shifting erratically or not, and then we'll go do some pulls. So let's get started. The shifts feel smooth. I used to have this issue where like the 2-3 and the 3-4 shifts, it seemed like it wasn't crisp. Almost like the car didn't know what it wanted to do. I forgot to get the mount for the draggy. So I'm not gonna have any like augmented data. But I'm kind of curious today to check out my slip ratio, because I wasn't getting any of that data on Tuner Pro. But you know, until I put that I should have it now, since I have the torque, the transmission control module plugged in the dash, the glove box. So did that little pull, and the good thing is I did not see any smoke coming from up in front of the hood. Normally I do a pull, and this is my theory, I was just over pressurizing the crank case, and the weakest point was that front crank case, that front crankshaft seal. That's where the leak was coming from. I cleaned out the valve cover vent. This is from a company I believe called CFM, valvecoverbreathers.com. It's a little ball, acts like a check valve, so when the system is under vacuum, it's pulling on this ball and it's not letting any unmetered air into the system. But when it's boost, and you know your crankcase can get pressurized, it pushes on that ball, and you can probably see like little vents up in there, and so it gets vented out of here instead of,
I forgot what it's called. Basically the vent valve on the valve cover, the CFM little thing, and seems like it's holding good. Let's just see real quick if I can foot brake this damn thing almost to 3K. So foot braking it to almost 3K. I mean, I tried to walk it as best as I could, but it's just breaking the tires loose. Kind of curious to see what the draggy has to say. I know the 60 foot has got to be like a 2.4 something. It's just hard launching this car on the street. I hate to say it. So, good thing is, I have to look at the video when I get back to the house, but I really think I got close to 3K on a foot brake. The other good finding of today is I think I solved the crankcase of the oil leak in the front. Now if I look up under here and I don't have any oil leaks in the front, I think I might try sneaking to 41 before they close. I know 41 will usually stay open as long as they can, but if I get up under here and I don't see any leaks, then we'll go to 41. Like, I mean, this is boost season. When you talk about boost season, this is boost season right here. Like the transmission temperature is like perfect. Well, actually, it's not perfect. It's actually too cold. Ideally, you want your trans temperature around 140 to 180. Right now, it's 138. So here's the interesting thing also. Without that transmission control module, I think I was getting more slip. So this is going to be interesting to see how much slip the transmission was doing, because I already have the data before, and as it is right now. Because right now, the car temperature is like, I mean, granted, it's like mid 50s. I had this car out before in the comfortable temperature, and we would stay up in the 180s. But now, and I really believe that was just so much heat from the torque converter slip, that everything across the board is way lower. It's a lot lower. So it's all great news. So right now, you know, I'm not going to test the draggy out anymore. I mean, I can't get any traction out here, so there's no point of trying to beat it up like that. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's the little things that can set back your build and to get you to a happy place with your build. It's these little things. Like earlier with the header glow, it was a cracked intake spacer. You know, the transmission, it's the wrong plug being put in. All little stuff like that. Like the intake manifold spacer, that really had me down for, not really down, but limited to what I could do for a couple of seasons. So what I think I'm gonna do now is I'll get home, like I said, I'll verify I don't have any leaks from the timing cover. If that's good, then I'll talk to Kim about trying to get the car to the track. And once I do that, then I'll put the drag radios on Kendra, see what kind of 60 foot and 8 miles she can do. Hell, we might take both cars to the track at the same time.
All right, so I let this stay under here for 1 day and it's still leaking. I was really hoping I would not see this. Basically, it just means my track dreams are shot, dried up like a raisin in the sun. But yeah, we're still gonna go out and have some fun with this car. We're gonna do some more pulls with it. I took the drag radios off here and I'm gonna put them on Kendra. We're gonna do some draggy pulls. I think the only day that is gonna work out perfect is Tuesday next week. It's supposed to be 75 degrees on Tuesday, so I'm gonna get an early start. I'm gonna swap the tires over, put them on Kendra, do some pulls. Then I'm gonna come back to the crib, put them back on the red car, do some pulls, and that'll be all draggy footage. So if you wanna see that, do me a solid, go ahead and hit the bell notification and subscribe to the channel so you can get the latest updates when these videos drop. So yeah, I appreciate everyone out there for supporting the channel. Until next time, God bless.